With the way training's been moving, got 3 singles, either I think 212 maybe, or RP 8 to 8.5. So RPE 8 to 8.5, that's like 92 point something percent on average. For me, that's probably around 0.35 to 0.4. 3 sets of 1, 2, 12.5. So yeah, it's a nice weight. I'll do 180 first, make sure that's all fine. Should be, it's only 180. And then we'll go to 212 for the first one, and then go from there. I don't want to get too carried away, so obviously we'll see how this goes. My legs, so much DOMs still from, what day was it? Wednesday, with the split squats and stuff. So I'll be interested to see how performance is with the extra fatigue, which I'm not so used to. And then 1 more week of this training, and then after that I'll get onto the concentric phase. Be more fun, a bit faster, a bit more exciting. So let's get the velocity up. Ideally, I'd like to see this above 0.5. Now I could give it like full tash, full power, but it is still a warm-up set. So like, I want to hit it with like decent intent, but it doesn't need to be anything insane. Not like when I hit the top singles, I want to be like fully fired up, you know? Not screaming and such, but just like in the zone. Anyway, last warm, well, what does it even be? Last warm up. Anyway, let's do it. Honestly can't feel it. It's fantastic. Very pleased with that. Have a look at the speed. 0.72. Brilliant. No dramas there. So straight up to 212. That's a nice. My ego is saying just go straight to 220, but the minimum target is 212. So if I go 212, make sure that's fine. Because then 212 could even just be another warm-up set. Wouldn't that be nice? 212 as a warm-up. I mean, for me, obviously there's people way stronger than me out there, but for me personally, this would be great to have. So before this session, I had a super nutritious meal of, what would I have? A couple 100 grams of chicken breast and a bag of marshmallows that are very high in gelatin. Now the reason for the marshmallows, instead of a proper meal, when I say a proper meal, I mean like fruits, vegetables, a decent source of carbs, is because I wanted to get a couple 100 grams of carbs in, but I only ate like an hour or so ago, so I wanted something that would get in quickly. And then the chicken was because Rach was cooking chicken. So I was like, cool, I'll save me cooking anything extra. And then obviously drinking this too. So 212.5. First set. So I want to be hitting this with a decent enough velocity that I can justify going up, but at the same time, I don't want to be like getting so psyched up that like it causes me tons of extra fatigue. So next week is going to be like fully amped up, RP 9.5. This week 8.5. So I should be able to do one definitely, maybe 2 more reps with this. That's the intensity. I'm just going to double check. So we've got 10.51, 10.51. Cool. Right then. So obviously, still need to like concentrate, but don't need to go full Dwarvian anger. That's just silly. 0.63. So I don't know what that puts my max at. That definitely wasn't happy 8 or 8.5. Minimum effort was required. Still gets the heart rate up though. And I mean, I'm not super fit. Like my resting heart rate, it's in the low 50s. I do cardio right now is getting into the competition. Dropped it right back just to twice a week. Looking for about 45 minutes, 130 to 145 heart rate. It's for me, my max heart rate is about 215. I've got the data to show that. So I'm not just pulling random numbers out of thin air. So based off that, that's about right for zone 2 for me. And then a lot of this training, although it's not traditional cardio, will help with your cardiovascular fitness at a certain extent. Anyway, so prior to this prep, what I tend to do is like year round have a bigger base of fitness and competition prep. Basically decrease the cardio as the specificity goes up, because skills take time to fade, so adaptations. So I don't need to be at peak fitness right now, because fitness for powerlifting is just 9 singles. It's like super easy, not a right lot of effort. So based off that 163, just gonna whip out the calculator and do some quick maths and see what I should go. Because I mean, so it was a 32.5 kilo jump, so I don't want to jump more than 32.5 kilos, so that'd be silly. So yeah, no, it reckons I should go 260. That would be silly. I'll go, ooh, it's exciting. What shall we go? If I go to 232.5, that's a 20 kilo jump. That's not too different to what I would do in a competition. So 232.5, and that's probably going to be the first set. To be honest, I think this is going to be a bit of this one's almost like just a warm-up. And I've been basically resting for the last, 5 minutes, however long this is. So I had a decent rest and still not gone full power. You know what? I'll just go 230, keep it sensible, because then I've always got more leeway to go up if I need to. See, with the squats and stuff, so I've got like a decent amount of power that comes with it, but with that comes the risk that something goes pop. And so I've had it before where something's gone pop, so my adductor, I was like a little bit cautious. Take this one seriously. I'm gonna put some music on too, just to get in the zone a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah. Easy. Definitely not RPA yet. Maybe like 6, 7, I don't know. So it's 0.56. So I think that puts my max at about 300. This shoulder's feeling a bit tight as I'm doing it. Sometimes find squatting after bench gets a little bit stiff. But on the opposite side, when I do a lot of stretching, bench starts to actually feel worse. So again, it's one of those trade-offs where I've not got a competition coming up. I'll do more stretching as it feels better. But if I have got a competition coming up, I'd rather have a little bit of discomfort squatting and that extra bit of weight when I'm benching. And then in the background, keep working on the range of motion, flexibility, everything else. So when I'm stretching more on these lines, I can do dislocations there, but right now that's not happening. I'm barely hanging on to the edge here. So based on that, that's 0.56. Let's do some more maths. So 242 or 245. For 242, that's like a decent weight, and that'll give an idea of where top end is for the day. Because right now, this is telling me my top end is right around 270, which just seems obscene, to be honest. I mean, I'd be very happy if it is, but I'm not sure if I believe that. So the hardest part with this, it'll probably be the unracking. I do often find that the actual unracking part of the movement seems to be the most difficult. And we've even done like heavy unracks and holds. It doesn't seem to make a massive amount of difference. And my current theory is that my waist is small. Like, it's not tiny, like I'm not shredded, I don't mean anything like that. I mean like structurally. If you look at like the width of my shoulders and down to my waist is quite little. So there's lateral movements there. There's not a right lot of stability. So when I'm moving in a single direction, it's fine, there's plenty of power transfer, but that rotational or lateral flexion, it's not the best. Something I'm actively training, but it doesn't help me right now, because right now I need to be able to do this. So that's right. Hands have still got chalk on, don't need any more of that. Oh, I'm getting a bit nervous now. This is like a fairly heavy squat for me. Anyway, if I couldn't do it, it wouldn't be in my program. Just gonna find something, just a little bit of aggression, I think. I'll do. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Well, that was anticlimactic. I thought that was going to be so much harder than it was. Yeah, what can you do? Guess we're going up. So 0.5 meters a second for 242. So 2 for 2.5 at 0.5 meters a second. It's doing it again. It's telling me to go 270, but that is insane. So that's not happening. Should I chip a small PB? Right. So my current squat PB is 250. $252. So right now, I'm thinking I've got one more like full week of training, and I've got like a taper. The heaviest I've squatted this training block until today was 210. Now, the last time I was a couple of weeks out from a competition, I had a great session like this. I squatted 250, and the 250 was fine. But later on that session is when I tore my adductor doing back offs, and the back offs were only at like 180. So now it's like in my head a little bit of whether or not I should go for this. And I'm torn because logically I can do this. I'm strong enough. The RPE on that was low. The velocity on that was even faster than it should have been, which is cool. I didn't feel like I was at maximum like intensity, if you like. But then, so this is where having someone to tell you just what to do is super valuable. Because right now, I'm torn on what to do. I'm saying that, I'm clearly putting weights on. So my brain is saying everything is fine. You can do this. My legs feel good, my back feels good, everything feels good, everything's moving well. But then there's this little voice, there's a little bit of doubt I sometimes get, which I'm sure lots of people get, but especially under the heavier load, especially PB, when it's a PB weight. So this is late on an evening. I'm in here by myself and I'm thinking, if something goes wrong, that's time off work, that's the training, that's the prep ruined. I've also, after this, the rest of the session, I think I've got deadlifts next. My deadlifts are already struggling. But then at the same time, I do sometimes think it's jumps like this that separate the people that are actually super strong from the people that aren't, of making the jump, not being afraid of it, and knowing that the training you've done carries you through it. So with that said, $252.5. I'm just going to stop this recording for a second, just in case the file corrupts. So then I've got the separate ones. So I just started it straight back up. So you see in the whole session here, I'm not going to cut things out. You'll see the thought process, you see the rest time between sets. Now, I've never thought of myself as being a good squatter. It's the lift I probably put the most work in. And I guess now it's starting to pay off. So I'm going to go re-chalk up again. It's like a safety blanket, putting chalk on sometimes, I think. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unrack it. And I'm going to make a logical decision. If I'm in the zone, I'm going to squat it. And if I'm not, then I'm not. I guess we'll find out how badly I want to get a PB. Because let's be honest, if I want to be squatting 260 in a comp, and the most I squat in the gym is 240, it's probably not helpful. And I want a weight to springboard off for next week. So let's find something good, get in the zone, get it up. This is something else as well. When I'm in the gym, squats seem to be the only one where music is the thing. Don't care on bench, don't care on deadlifts, but in a competition, the environment's enough. But it's just like, I don't know, something about it. I think it's the connection to old memories. It gets the adrenaline firing easier. Right, I'm going to connect this to the Wi-Fi so that then the music won't die. And we'll go. Yeah, let's go. Either that was high, or I'm way stronger than I thought I was. So I'm gonna watch this back because the whip caught me a bit. So I'm not used to that load, but it says 0.39, which is fast, especially for that kind of weight. I mean, it's a PB, providing it wasn't high. So I'll watch that back. Yeah, I need to watch this. I don't know if it must be high. Just watched it back. Definitely was deep enough. And the sound on the way up, I think it's my knees creaking because I don't remember soiling myself, but it does sound a bit like that. So maybe it was, I don't know. I'm stopping there. All of the reps, each one of them correlate to a max, and it's a linear relationship. Providing technique's the same, range of motion's the same, intent is the same. It's a linear relationship between velocity and max. All of the reps have said that the max is 280 kilos, which is insane. The highest the velocity is said up until this point for for me in any session is 265. So if that's the case, then it was definitely the right decision to make that jump so that next week I can hit. I don't want to jinx myself because like it was so nice. Maybe like 260-ish. I mean, that was a 2.5 kilo PB, and the PB is from maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. So to be fair, it's not like it's unexpected. I hit the 250 a while ago, then tore my adductor, and then squat training has been mostly just like rehab type stuff, and then just very, very slowly working the load back up, and it's clearly paid off. So I'd be keen to see how that is. Here's something that's silly, is I've got deadlifts now. For this one, I'm going with a fixed load because deadlifts always for me feel significantly worse than they are. And in the gym, I can pull multiple sets and reps at like an RP 9 or 10. But the strange thing is, they're weights that should be like an RP 7 or 8. And when it comes to competition, those weights just fly because my squat takes so much out of my deadlift that it really impacts it. Makes such a big, has such a big recovery cost. So I'd be interested now, after just doing that, to see if I can deadlift anything decent. Oh. So I'm gonna do, I'll do 60, 100, 140, 180, to something. I think it's 220, 227. I don't know. But I'm gonna pause the camera, go pee, wash my hands, and then I'll start this again. 3x1, 227.5. Actually a bit nervous of them. There's a lot of my training spent being nervous, to be honest. So a couple reps double overhand, and then after that, just one single hook grip. That's another thing as well, hook grip. It's uncomfortable obviously, but a little bit of adrenaline, it goes away. And try not to use straps as much as possible. I'm doing plenty of grip work. I'll show you the hook grip in a second. I just don't want to mess about warming up too long. It's getting a bit chilly. So that was double overhand. That was hook. So that was 100, 140. It's a bit of an awkward weight to go to because I've got 180 and then 227 is just a little bit too big of a jump from 180 for me. If it was sumo, I probably, to be fair, when it's sumo, I don't tend to bother with 60. I just go 100, 140, 220, whatever. Like 227 wouldn't be a work set. But for conventional it is, because I'm weak. It's not even that I'm weak. So I don't train it. So to have a bigger total, sumo is better for me. But it's not sustainable. I keep getting to 280, 290 and then something goes pop. So double overhand grip like that. Mixed grip would be like that. Only rotating at your elbow, not at the shoulder. And a hook grip would be thumb under the bar, fingers wrapped around like that. So it stops the bar from rotating in your hands. There are different techniques to doing it. They're not like crazy different, but like I've got real fat palms, tiny little fingers. So I do it probably different to someone who has longer fingers. Anyway, double overhand first. And then hook. Felt slippery. It's weird, it's cold, but my hands are sweaty. So anyway, go 180 next. That will be hook grip. And then I need something between 180 and 227, heavy enough to make the jump, but not so heavy that it makes me tired, because I'm lazy. Oh, 180 as well. Put the velocity on. Keep forgetting to do that. I think maybe 180, and then if I go to 210 is a nice intermediary weight, because then the jump from 210 to 227 is only 17. There's a 30 kilo jump, so I like to go bigger and smaller jumps the heavier it gets. Next exercise, we will go deadlift 180 kilograms, and now I'm going to use some chalk as well. I just find if I don't use chalk, my grip doesn't look good. Who would have thought? But also the skin, especially on my thumbs, tend to slide. And one thing I have got better at is knowing the difference between using straps, because I just need to tough up a bit, and using straps for a genuine reason of the skin splitting. Because once it splits, it takes like a good 3-4 weeks to heal properly. So it's finding that line between the two. If in doubt, don't use straps. That squat took it out of me. That was 0.43, she's pretty slow. So go 220 next. It's mad really, you think if you can squat it, you should be able to deadlift it. But not today. Where did I put the clips? I'm asking you where I put the clips, as if you'll know, or me watching back through this is going to see it. It won't help me to find them, will it? 200, 210, collar. Thank you for your help finding the collar, that was useful. The other thing as well is like, just remembering that deadlift will fly up after a bit of a taper when we drop the accessories and stuff. This is just over 2 litres. Water, salt, electrolytes, bit of fruit juice. So let's change the weight to 210. Triple check. Just pulling a deadlift with an uneven weight sometimes hurts. I don't want that. Already got chalk on my hands. Don't need a right lot more. Need to give this a little bit of oomph. I kind of want to earn the right to go up to my top set. A monster coming straight through me. Come straight back out, I should say. 210, let's go. Jeez, that was hard. That should not be that. Well, I tell a lie. I already told you all the reasons why it sucks, but it is what it is. So that was 0.33 meters a second, which makes it like 95% or something. So these, plural, are probably going to be disgusting. But I will give them my best shot, because like I say, I can recover from grinding deadlifts in the gym. It's just that the actual performance of them isn't great. And the reason I know I can recover is because it doesn't affect my ability to squat. Whereas I cannot recover from loads of extra squatting, because that affects my ability to squat and to deadlift. And also, funnily enough, to bench. So that's 220, 225, 227.5. Gonna need to stick this one out. It's probably gonna be like slow rep. I get that judder when it gets heavy on deadlifts. It's like different things are firing at different times, because it's not a highly trained movement. It's not a movement I train. I haven't trained it a lot over the past few years, up until the last couple of months. It's just like grit your teeth, get on with it. Ooh, that skin's not looking good. We'll see how this goes. There's also something else I like about the sound of the bar when you're deadlifting, like the rattling of it. It just sounds cool. Music is whatever when deadlifting. So when you're putting chalk on, you don't want to overly chalk your hands, because if you do, then it sounds counterintuitive, but the chalk itself can make your grip slippery. You don't want that. You want it to be like a light coating of the areas that are going to be in contact with the bar. Right then. Just got to keep pulling. With this as well, it's making sure that I don't let the pain in my hands override the pull. Whew. I don't want to look at my hands, because I think the skin's starting to come off. It's not that bad. Yeah, I can do another set with that. So that's the thing, like I was saying, there's that line of, is the skin coming off, or are you just being a wimp? Now for this, I'm going to grab a stopwatch, just for a timer. Maybe I won't. Just put it on my phone. So I've just set a 2-minute timer. So I don't want to go so soon that I end up failing it. But also, I don't just wait for ages and ages and ages. Start thinking about it more and more. I just find like deadlifts especially, there's only so much oomph in them. And this is why when I say about the 700 total, I don't think deadlift is there to get it. So based off that squat today, that 252, say 260 is there. So 260, bench, best bench is 155. Let's be optimistic and say 160. That'd be cool, that'd be a great PB. That means I'd have to deadlift 280. I know I can do that sumo, but I feel like an addict or something, like addicted to sumo. So if I can get my deadlift up, there's no way I'm pulling 280 at this competition. And even if I say I squat 270 by some miracle, I still have to deadlift 270. Clearly, you just saw that. This is clearly not going to happen. Although saying that, the most I pulled in the gym before the 245 in comp was 210. So if we extrapolate that, is that? So how much did I add? 35 kilos onto it? That could happen. It's not likely though, because getting a 15 kilo PB no, it wouldn't be 15 kilos. Getting a 25 kilo PB deadlift in 6 weeks and the squat PB is probably not going to happen, but I can try. Right, start thinking about getting ready now. So 2-minute timer, it's just about to go off. Got 10 seconds left, so we'll stop it there. So then in reality, it's probably more like a 4 or 5 minute rest or something, because of all the time messing about before, all this time now messing about after. So let's say it's probably about 4 minutes rest. In competition, the rest would be a bit longer. But then the other thing is, in competition, the weight's obviously going up. There's the atmosphere, the crowd, the environment. It's just different compared to like Sunday night by yourself, empty gym, talking to yourself. Come on. Don't even know what to think about that. There was no point where I thought I was going to drop it, but at the same time, it just felt hard. Like I can clearly feel I'm working. I don't know, it's just boring. That's the best way of describing that. It's just boring. So even if we went with the RPE 8 to 8.5, I don't think I could do another rep with that. Not now, not in this mind state. I have to get like fully riled up, and then that would definitely impact my training more significantly than I'd like it to. So I don't want that. Let's set the same timer again for 2 minutes. See what else I'm doing. So we've got deadlift, we've got pull-ups, and glute ham raises. Pull-ups would be interesting, see how the grip is after these. I bought some neutral grip handles for pull-ups about a month ago on the recommendation of my good friend Will, and they've been great. The weight limit on them is 150 kilos each, if it's true what they say. So they're great for weighted pull-ups and stuff. And these rigs, with my little fat hands, I struggle. And it's not just a grip thing, it's like actually getting hold of the bar without the skin just folding over. Whereas with those grips, it just feels nicer. And also with this shoulder, with the reconstructions and stuff, being in that position there with that slight bit of internal rotation, it just compresses the nerves. So I get pins and needles in my arm, hanging like 15, 20 seconds, which obviously then limits everything else. So like a set of 10 pull-ups, it's more than 10, 15 seconds. So that becomes a limiting factor. And that's the sort of thing that, so even the times when I do all the extra flexibility stuff that I talked about, it doesn't seem to make any difference because the anatomy of this is just different now. So my bicep does not attach to the same place, it's been moved, and it's been like almost woven through a different muscle to create a sling around the joint so my shoulder doesn't dislocate. So that's its own issue. But anyway, I really like them. You'll see them soon. If I film it, if the camera hasn't died. Right, 30 seconds left. Last one. The other thing as well is, when you're chalking, you will see where the chalk comes off your hands between reps. That's the only place you need to re-chalk up. You don't need to chalk up your elbows and arms and everything else. Like, I get it if you're doing some kind of sport where you're gonna use the contact. So a strongman, for example, say you're doing like sandbag carries or something, you want that bit of extra friction there, fine. But for powerlifting, why would you want that? Like talc makes sense. So say you pull sumo, you have the talc so it rubs on your legs. That makes sense. But be careful with talc near your hands for your grip. So Bit of chalk. Starting to think now about what I'm going to have for tea when I get home. I've got some steaks, got some chicken thighs. Actually, I need to check my macros. I don't think I've eaten the right lot today. Like in terms of total calorie load. Something else, there's always something else. So this is partly why I started recording this, because I ended up training and texting and whatever else, and there's just a constant stream of thoughts, whereas this way, I can keep this for myself, so I've got this stream of consciousness for future. But what I was going to say then is, you'll see the difference in the time to get ready to squat versus the time for the deadlift, and I think potentially it's because you need to be in the right mindset for unracking the squat. So if you unrack the squat and you're worried about the weight of it, or it feels heavy or whatever, it's just gonna like freak you out. Whereas with the deadlift, you're either lifting it or you're not. So there's not the same amount of like oomph, because like once it's off the ground, you're either deadlifting it or you're not. Like with a squat, you can unrack it and then think, oh dear God, I cannot lift this. Right, time is done. Now I'm just talking. Come on, last one. Thumb survived. There you have it. Deadlift's done. Now, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put the bar away between sets of pull-ups, the plates away between sets of pull-ups, because otherwise it just takes extra time. So that's the main parts of today, the squat and the deadlift. Super, super happy with the squat. The deadlift as well, to be fair. I don't think I've ever pulled this sort of weight regularly, conventional in one session. So yeah, neutral grip pull-ups and then glute ham raises. I will shift the camera and then we'll go from there. Not sure how exciting this will be to watch. It's just neutral grip pull-ups. It's the same idea as a lot of the other accessories. At the minute, it's just to maintain muscle mass. So just trying to make sure my back doesn't shrink into oblivion whilst I'm doing the hyper-specific training. I like the neutral grip, like I said. So you might notice when I do them, I don't quite lock out all the way there, because that's the position where I start to get the pins and needles. So if I stop just short there, it's really nice on my shoulder. And then when I do the hangs, I do them active and passive in that extra range as well. It's maybe not the best thing, especially like for hypertrophy, but the best thing isn't always the best thing. The best thing is the thing you can do and keep doing it. So if something's causing you pain or discomfort or whatever, probably find a different way around. So between these sets, I'm just going to do 3 sets of 8 of this. So I'm not going to bother filming the other ones. It's like, yeah, it's not very exciting. No load, no weight. I'm going to put those weights away and then I'll pop this back on for the glute ham raises. Something I've noticed is, since starting to do this, how much quicker I'm getting through training, which is cool. So obviously it saves me time. Now on these, I'm looking for the isometric contraction. The hold at the bottom is the important thing. I want to do it for like a 2 count if I can. If I can get back up, I will. If not, I'll use my hands to push back up. This is my last set of these. going for 6. So after the isometric hold, I'm actively trying to pull back up, which is just resulting in me being static. They were good though. Enjoy doing them. They're definitely easier on this compared to doing like actual proper Nordics. But I've got this, so why not? This is way more versatile. I could probably have weighted down the back, but I was only doing a couple of sets. And for the sake of this, that's fine. It's not going to make a huge difference. Then we have very last part of the session. Just going to do some hangs. Hands are knackered now, so we'll see how this goes. For these ones, I'm not programming them like specifically. I'm literally just hanging to wherever's comfortable. So like, what was that, like 2-3 seconds? Yeah, the skin's just going. But I don't want to just stop doing them because I do think they're beneficial. But at this point now, with a couple of weeks of the competition, the skin is more important than the hanging. So I don't know if you can see across here, skin's starting to split. Same on both hands. I just want to make sure that I don't tear anything now. There's only a couple of weeks left of training. And my grip strength's come on loads. Like doing the hangs with, I think 120 or something I've got up to now with it. So plus my weight for the duration should be fine. Bit of adrenaline on the day and everything else should all be good. So that's it for today. Really enjoyed today's session. I've been in here 1 hour and 20 minutes. So that's not bad. I'm going to go home, get some food, get some more programs done, set this to upload, and I will see you not tomorrow, because tomorrow is a rest day, but the day after.